Hey everybody, and welcome back to Out Today and What I Missed for January 16th, 2026. This week, I got 13 brand new albums for you to check out, 6 that are out today, 7 that I missed along the way. There's no time to dilly-dally. Let's just get into it. First up, we have Carrion Vael with Slay Utterly. The 5th album from this Indiana band feels like it's coming out at an appropriate time. The world feels so turbulent, and having a soundtrack that feels like the world around you, it's quite the experience. The band has mastered its sound and continues to push the boundaries with every release. The genre bending on this one is astounding, and it hits so many elements of death-defying moments, all while feeling natural at the same time. While this is very much a melodeath album, you can hear so much tech death, symphonic, progressive, and almost deathcore elements mixed together to make the music feel like a whirlwind, but a storm that you want to be swept in time and time again. If you enjoy the likes of the Black Dahlia Murder, Revocation, Summoning the Like, and Allegiant, Carrion Vael is a band that you need to check out. Slay Utterly is the perfect starting point. Next up is Greywind with Severed Heart City. 2 albums into this Irish duo's career, and they have credited an emo side that I don't naturally gravitate toward, but I can't get enough of what they're doing with Severed Heart City. The album is about trauma and looking for a way to get past it all, and, well, if you know my backstory, that's probably why I connect with it so much. The songs are layered in pop, emo, pop-punk, electronic moments that feel like it should be tailor-made for modern rock FM radio, and who knows, maybe one day that'll happen here in the US. The production is so slick and polished, and it makes the music work so well, and especially making the lyrics stand out in the best of ways, and really make it feel like a gut punch to anyone who has any kind of empathy to their soul, or can at least appreciate the music. If you enjoy the likes of My Chemical Romance, Taking Back Sunday, and True North, give Greywind your proper attention. Now we have HyperioN with Cybergenesis. The 3rd album from this Italian heavy metal outfit is bringing the classic sound into 2026 in the best of ways. It hits that itch that makes classic heavy metal work, but it updates it just enough to make it feel like it was made in today's age. With a production style that feels authentic and a songwriting that knows when to trim the fat and when to expand it as needed, this is what more bands of the style should be striving to achieve. For anyone who enjoys that classic new wave of British heavy metal sound, mixed in with some 80s thrash, some speed metal, and more, HyperioN is required listening. Up next, we have Kreator with Krushers of the World. The 16th album from one of the most legendary names in all of thrash is easily some of the band's best work, and that is no easy thing to achieve. The band has always found a way to never repeat themselves, but still sound exactly like Kreator time and time again. This time around, the band focuses on creating a grand atmosphere that covers the best elements of the band, but surrounded by such killer melodies, harmonies, and when called for, symphonics, to make this one of the most bombastic albums of the band's career. They hit everything a diehard fan would want, all while being accessible to anyone checking them out for the first time. The production on this one is off the charts, and it pulverizes you, while the songwriting is so crushing, no pun intended, yet dignified. There's a reason why Kreator has been blasting in your eardrums for 41 years now, and they've taken time to improve and maintain their legacy. This is a masterclass on how to make thrash metal stand out while never losing yourself in the process. Come December, this will be recognized as one of the best thrash metal albums, if not one of the best metal albums of 2026. Now we have Of Sulfur with Endless. The long-awaited sophomore album from this Las Vegas band is something I've been waiting for since their debut, The Burden of Faith, back in 2023. Arguably my favorite band in the symphonic, Blackened deathcore realm has lost no momentum in the songwriting, and if anything, has found a way to make what works best for the band and double down on it. The symphonic elements hit even harder, the crushing breakdowns hit just at the right spots, and the blackened atmosphere of it all makes it feel like the album stand out amongst the crowd. The production on this one is brutal, and you can hear every note as intended, and with music this intricate, that is essential. Imagine a mix of Lorna Shore, Mental Cruelty, and Dimmu Borgir, and you will have one of the best, if not the best, symphonic blackened deathcore album of the year, bar none. And finally, for brand new music out today is a band that I think is pronounced Vaselis with Home. The debut album from the Santa Clara, California band is the left-of-center symphonic black metal that should make everyone who enjoys bands like Crack Engren, Sigh, and early-day Cradle of Filth very happy. The debut brings this finesse into its off-kilter and avant-garde style of symphonic black metal that feels authentic, soul-draining, and very depressing. Add in the right kinds of cinematic and genre-bending moments, and you have an album that is so far far from your typical run-of-the-mill style album, and one that holds your attention from beginning to end. With a production style that hits hard but feels real, you have an album that, if they catch on, Vercellus is going to be one of the biggest names in symphonic black metal in due time. All you have to do is check it out for yourself. And now for everything that I missed along the way, starting with Blue Mountain, or Blue Mountain Sweden, with When Heaven Falls Down and Hell Freezes Over. With an album title like that, you would imagine maybe a symphonic power metal album or an apocalyptic black metal album. No, you get some excellent quality AOR melodic rock that soothes the soul every time that you spin it. It has that classic 80s sound that we all know and love, the catchy melodies and harmonies that become instant earworms, and those solos that just bring everything together. The production makes this feel like an album that came out in 1986, but polished just enough for 2026. The songwriting hits so very hard and will stick with you, as any good AOR album should. At 10 songs and almost 44 minutes, this is the kind of album that you put on and forget your troubles, even if just for a little bit. And it looks like 2026 is going to be filled with a lot of those moments, and we definitely need music like that. If you love that classic sound of AOR, Blue Mountain is delivering the goods. Now we have Denominate with Restoration. The third album and first in 6 years from this Finnish band is a style of progressive death metal that I need right now. Being able to mix together a super heavy sound that would make Obscura and Carcass fans happy, mixed in with progressive moments that will shiver down your spine if you enjoy the likes of Neav Lascaris and Edge of Sanity, and enough of their own blends to create an album that pushes the envelope of what progressive death metal can be in 2026. It never goes too far into any one direction, but it never strays from the path. It expands enough to explore what is possible and always finds a way to bring it home, even if it's in unexpected ways. The production is that perfect balance of clear but human, and that is needed to make an album like this effective. As mentioned, I needed an album like this right now that will destroy everything in its way, all while having melodies, harmonies, and more that will ring in your head for days on end. I don't envy any other progressive death metal band putting out an album this year, as Denominate has set the standard bearer for 2026, and it'll be no easy task to try to beat this one. This is absolutely stellar. Now we have Destroy Them with Threshold of Apocalypse. To anyone concerned that thrash metal will not continue into younger generations, you need to calm down after hearing Destroy Them. The debut album from this German outfit is a phenomenal display of the classic German thrash metal sound, but with twists and turns to make the music a true evolution of sound. Of course, you will obviously hear the Kreator influences, and when you look up the band, that's understandable why. You will also hear bands like Warbringer, Clear Sky Nailbomb, and The Crown, done in a way that feels genuine and feels so good to listen to over and over again. The production feels top-notch and the songwriting is inspired and feels fresh. If you need a thrash metal album that feels like a punch to the face, you'll be hard-pressed to find another band who does it quite like Destroy Them. Now we have a band that I absolutely apologize if I'm pronouncing wrong, Elbereth's Grace, with Where Silence Speaks. This is a spin-off of the band Black Jade, focusing more on the symphonic, folk, modern, and power metal side of the band, and keeping just enough of the extreme end to keep things exciting. Layered in fantasy and Tolkien themes, the album feels like an adventure that is worth taking, from the soaring highs to the devastating lows. The songs hit hard from pillar to post and are done with an authenticity that you simply can't fake. While many bands of the style are focusing on being more mainstream, the band here can blend Stream of Passion, Lake of Tears, and Early Day Epica to make a band that is putting other bands of the genre to shame. This is what bands should strive to achieve in the style, and if this catches on, it has every chance of being the standard bearer for the genre for a long time to come. Seriously, if you need some authentic symphonic and fantasy metal, check this one out. Next up, we have Enshine with Elevation. The third album, and first in 11 years from this French and Swedish band, hits that melodic death doom sound in a way that destroys the soul, but leaves you wanting more. The perfect example of how to mesh these genres together in a depressing and authentic way. Of course, you have Sebastian Pierre of Fractal Gates and Jari Lindholm, formerly of Slumber. How could you not have that rich, gorgeous, and devastating blend? The band has melodies and harmonies that soar through the ages, with just enough of the darkness to tie everything together. Matched in an otherworldly production style, and you have an album that is meant for those who truly want to get lost in melodic death doom. This is going to be a hard album to top in this style this year, and I am awaiting every band of the style to try to topple it. This is such a phenomenal display of the haunting beauty that truly is melodic death doom. And at long last, we have For My Pain with Buried Blue. They say you have your whole life to make your first album and about 18 months to make your second. Sometimes that sophomore album takes about 23 years. I can say with pure certainty that this is more than worth the wait. This Finnish band captures everything that you love about the late 90s, early 2000s goth sound without any of the fluff and the pure hooks from beginning to end. Of course, when your lineup consists of past and present members of Eternal Tears of Sorrow, Andromeda, Barbarians, and Poison Black, you are going to have a band that knows how to write dark, catchy songs, and they will be stuck in your head for days on end. At 11 tracks and 51 minutes long, this feels like a return of the Finnish goth that the world really needs right now in an ever-growing darkened world. It simply matches the mood. Whether you need a nostalgia trip or you just want to hear how the style needs to be done in 2026, Buried Blue is going to be one of the finest examples of what made the genre work for decades now, and it won't take much to understand why. And finally today we have Walls of Babylon with Aeons Apart. The fourth album in 11 years from this Italian progressive power metal band has created an album that is filled to the brim with what makes the genre work. Whether the band goes all guns blazing, focusing on the catchiest choruses possible, or shows off just enough of their chops, the band knows how to write for the style and for the music at hand. The production is stellar and it makes every song sing, all while the songwriting takes you all over the universe of the genre without breaking the boundaries. This is easily for anyone who needs their fix of bands like Halloween, Stradivarius, Skull Revenge, and Lost Sanctuary. It's the kind of band that will make you smile from ear to ear in a time that we really need to get every smile that we can get. And there you go, folks, another 13 albums down for Out Today and What I Missed, and 20 albums down in 2026 so far. So what'd you think? Was there some good albums here, some bad albums here? Anything that I might have missed? Anything that you're going to check out? Please let me know down below. And of course, like, comment, share, subscribe, hype if you're on your phone, all of that good stuff. We are just about at 2,000 subscribers, and I would love to hit that at some point. Please and thank you. And of course, come back next week when we do Out Today and What I Missed for January 23rd, 2026. But until then, for the Heavy Debriefings YouTube channel, this is Josh Runquist saying, embrace the skeleton.